Hey, everybody, listen, welcome in the building, okay? What is it? It's Thursday. Happy Thursday, Trending Topics Thursday. Child, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You know, I just saw Bad Boys, with whatever number it is, Ride or Die, on the flight home from Vegas. And you know, people hyped that up like they was like, oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. Don't beat me up, and y'all know I'm okay. I ain't got no problem with Will Smith or Jada, but I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was everything everybody was hyping it up to be. I couldn't wait to see it, and I purposely waited till I wasn't going to have to pay. And when I saw it on the plane, I said, "What did I? What happened? This was okay." I didn't think it was as great as everybody made it out to be, but I didn't think it was horrible. I just thought it was okay. But anyway, that's not what we're here for today. Okay, we're here for the title. Yes, it's called Bad Boys. And you could put hashtag in the chat, Bad Boys. See, what they wanted to seem like is that Diddy was this solo monster in the entertainment industry. Well, a whole lot of stuff was going on before Diddy entered the industry. A whole lot of stuff happened with him being at the top of the ring in the industry. And when he's gone, it's going to be some more stuff happening up in the industry. So he's not the only bad boy in the industry. And now people are feeling like they got their superpower. Because Garth Brooks, the country singer, who's married, okay, power couple in the country world, country music world, he's being accused of the R word. Yeah, he is. And the makeup artist is saying a whole lot of things. Okay. Thank you, Too Good to Leave You Now. Similar behavior going back to 1930. Yeah, it's, but you know, Diddy did take the thing to a whole nother level. He did. He thought he was invincible, but now he's sitting behind bars somewhere figuring it out. That, you know what, when they say it's over, that's when it's going to be over. And they pulled the plug, and now he has to pay the piper. Going to see how this thing goes down. But Garth Brooks, okay, the makeup artist, she has, the only thing that's not added to her story is substances. And she said what he did to her happened over a period of time. Now, y'all know how I do over here. We talk about a story, but we do some education also. Part of her story is she's saying she endured what she endured because she needed the money financially. She's a makeup artist and a hairstylist. I know non-famous makeup artists that rake in the dough. Local, non-famous makeup artists that rake in the dough. Pulling in $100 easy per face to beat your face with the makeup. I know some hairstylists that be banging out their heads. They own their own salon. They rolling in the cash. On a good year, especially the ones that are called, and somebody help me out with the name. I may not get the name correctly. The weave masters and the people that be doing the wigs and the weaveologists and the people doing the wigs and all of that. Raking in the dough. And I'm talking about the non-famous celebrity ones. The ones out there doing the everyday faces in their every regular day people hair. And I know one that do the hair and she sell the hair and she living large. So you might say, well, Diva, what are you talking about? I do not understand when the individuals want to say that they felt they had to stay in a toxic environment because they needed the money. And then I know you're going to say, well, Diva, there's a lot of people in Target, Walmart, Starbucks, corporate America, they stay in toxic environments because they need the money. And I won't disagree with you. But there's different levels of toxic. If you are R me, trying to violate my physical body on a regular basis, deuces, I'm out. Need the money and all. But let's go back to the topic at hand. He got a whole wife. And this one is also claiming that he would say to her, can me, you, and the wife do a threesome? I don't know if the wife knew about this. I don't know. I don't know how the wife feels at this moment with her husband being accused of such a heinous crime. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not built like that. You throw a rock in my house, I may crumble. I get the news that my husband is being accused of violating somebody. I don't know if I'm built like that. But we're going to talk about it. Going to talk about Garth Brooks and how initially he really tried to hide this whole thing from the public. Because the lawsuit was originally filed saying Jane Doe and John Doe. But now his name is out there and he got to deal with the aftermath, just like everybody else. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about R. Kelly's daughter speaking out. There's a documentary coming out October the 11th. We got to watch it. She's pregnant. She must know she's having a boy. And she said she will never, paraphrasing here, never bring her unborn child, and when the child is born, to see the grandpa up in the jail. She said her dad is a bad person. We got to talk about this. And the reason why I want to talk about this particular subject, because essentially Diddy kids are in the same predicament as R. Kelly's daughter and R. Kelly's kids. What do you do with your life when your mother or your father is being accused of some heinous things? How do you navigate that? Do you stop speaking to your own parent? Do you stop loving your parent? Do you never visit said parent in jail? Now, R. Kelly, I don't know how hard, because I want to say the children were kind of estranged from him, I believe, way before the incident he ever got locked up. And I also want to say he wasn't paying Drea Kelly any really child support. I want to say Drea Kelly and the kids was kind of in the struggle before R. Kelly went through his whole legal situation. So I'm saying that to say this, you know, R. Kelly kids, Andrea, I don't think they was used to, for a long period of time before he went to jail, used to living in extreme wealth. When you got Diddy kids, I don't know if he set them up with trust funds. I don't know what he did. But God knows, with all that money he had access to, hopefully he did, because I can't picture them being able to come live next to me. I can't see the twins knowing what life is like, where you got to go to the supermarket yourself. They don't know that life. Where you got to actually live in a 2-bedroom condo. They don't know that life. Diddy is being sued this much, no matter what, it's a lose-lose situation, because even, let's just say some extreme thing where he beat every last one of the case, he not going to have a dime left. He not. In my next life, I'm going to law school. Because the lawyers be breaking in the door. And at the end of the day, whether a lawyer win or lose, he getting paid. This client got to pay him. And the lawyer be like, I'm sorry, you can appeal. Let me know if you want me to put in the paperwork to appeal. That'd be another $500, $600,000, $2,500 per hour. And I work on your case day and night. If your lawyer sends you an email, it's money. That's on the bill. The lawyer sends you an email, a text message, write up a paperwork for you, submit anything for you. That is money. They got to travel to come talk to you while you behind bars. That's money. It's a mess. So we're going to talk about it and talk about, you know, how R. Kelly's daughter feels like, I'm not bringing my child to meet my father. It's a lot to deal with. A big burden to carry. I wouldn't want that torch because it's too much. Then we're going to talk about, child, if these Diddy stories, everybody's coming out the woodworks now. And I told you, everybody, when I say everybody, I don't know who really was at the after party. I don't want to see the tapes, but I want to see the tapes because everybody claims they did not by any means, when he blew the whistle, it was like he blew a whistle. Whoo, now it's time for the after party. Everybody scattered. Everybody scattered. Nobody was at the after party, but they knew there was an after party. So now this kid, he was 6 back in 1999. He is now 30. He wants to tell his Diddy story. I mean, the people are lined up to tell their Diddy story. And somehow they was all clairvoyant. Somehow, even though they didn't see much, they knew that he was so sinister way back then. He was 6. He had a Diddy party. And his parents brought him to the Diddy party. I would have took that story to my grave. Yeah, I would have. Because, sir, you worried about what you saw at a Diddy party? Worry about what your parents exposed you to at 6. Because your parents wanted to be around a celebrity. That's what you need to worry about. And then he's going to give to the publication he spoke to the picture of him and Diddy at 6. Yeah, you got a picture because your parents, they told you, oh, that's Diddy. Go over there. Let me take a picture of you and Diddy. And your parents were showing everybody and anybody that picture up until the moment Diddy got in trouble. Now you want to talk about how at 6 years old, you was at a Diddy white party in the Hamptons. You saw naked people. You saw substances and you knew those substances was Mary Jane, cocoa, and all of this. Miss me with the nonsense. At 6, you knew that. At 6, I saw crazy stuff and I had to ask my parents, like, what's that? I didn't know. But if your parents walked in a party and you 6, and they see to their left, there's people with no clothes on. They see to their right, there's people smoking, drinking, and using substances. And your parents didn't have the right mind to say, either we all got to go, or at the very least, I'm going to take you back home, call a babysitter, and then come back. Sir, don't tell me your story. Tell me how your parents messed up with their bad judgment when you were 6 at a Diddy party and there's naked people in the pool and you was thinking about, all I want to do is jump in the pool and swim. This is stupid now. And I want to send a memo to the rest of these people. Do not tell us your Diddy story unless you want to tell us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I want to hear from another person who swear up and down, I was only there till 9 o'clock and then I left because I'm so innocent. I left. There's plenty of pictures up into Diddy at the very least, because what's that party CVJ showed of Diddy's? I think it was Diddy's 50th. He's only 54, right? So up into Diddy's 50th, because when Stevie J showed that video of Diddy's 50th birthday party, everybody was in the building. Everybody was in the building. Go back and look at that video. I can't play it because I'm going to say music was playing on that video. But everybody was in the building. They was all smiling in his face, drinking his alcohol, drinking the Ciroc. What's the other alcohol here? They was smiling, they was drinking, they was dancing, they was partying. And like I said, at best, we didn't know as the general public, but you better believe everybody in Hollywood knew. They was jamming. They was saying happy birthday to Diddy. And I'm not saying that all of them took part of the debauchery. But go look at the 50th birthday party video. Janet Jackson was there. Naomi Campbell was there. John Legend was there. The people was in the building. Yeah, they were. And now all of a sudden, they don't know him. They ain't really party with him. They didn't like him like that. Yeah, just stop. And you know what? How about this? Let me scratch the people that was in the building for the 50th. Let's come a little bit closer in time. Look at how many people did the Love album with him. Everybody underneath the sun was on the Love album. Go check it out. He had collabs with the best of them on the Love album. But now they all claim, I ain't really know, I ain't like that man like that. I ain't really know Diddy. I didn't party with him like that. But you was in the studio with him making the Love album. Yeah, you were. And now all of a sudden, they don't know the man. They didn't really party with the man like that. They didn't get down like that. Tell the truth and shame the devil. And say, you know what? You could say maybe, I used to party with him back in the day, but I stopped partying with Diddy maybe say in the 2000s or 2010. But to say never, you didn't mess with him like that? Well, the Love album says different. Unless you want to try to tell me you laid your piece of the track in the studio in New York while he was out there in Miami. And then you sent it and the engineer put that thing together. But that ain't how it went down with everybody. But now all of a sudden, everybody, they don't know nothing. They ain't hear nothing. They didn't see nothing. They wasn't really a part of nothing. Well, the videotape They going to show a little something, something. And you're going to have to be able to explain the something, something that was seen. You're going to talk about it. But in the meantime, what is today? Today is Thursday. It's Thursday night trending topics, and I got to bring the people in the building because we got stuff to talk about. Y'all know what I need in the chat, right? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It's Thursday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Bad Boys, okay? Bad Boys. Diddy ain't the only one up in Hollywood that's a bad boy. Allegedly, Russell Simmons, he will not come out and step foot out of Bali. Why? Bad boy. A lot of people. You're going to get into it. So tonight is Garth Brooks, R. Kelly's daughter, and Diddy. We're going to bring the people in the building. Hold on 1 second now. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Diva. Hi.
Hey, E. Hey, Julius. All right, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, we gonna bring the Playboy and child the Playboy Mansion is just a whole nother story in and of itself. But I kind of told y'all a while back. The Playboy Mansion allegedly had a whole bunch of Diddy-like situations going on. What's his name? Hugh Hefner just slipped through the cracks. Allegedly, a lot of stuff that, what's his name? Bill Cosby did. A lot of it allegedly happened out there in the Playboy Mansion. They learned this behavior from somewhere. It's dead wrong. So don't get me twisted now. It's dead wrong. They learned the behavior from somewhere, but then they picked up the behavior and they took it to like the 10th power. It's like, are you crazy? And these are, in my mind, people where individuals would literally probably, if you ask them, they probably be down with to do whatever you want. I don't understand why people feel they gotta force themselves. Even a Garth Brooks, I just pictured any groupie, anybody, if you ask them, you want to get down with the get down tonight, you're going to find somebody that would say yes. I don't understand these people with forcing themselves on people. The mindset is mind-boggling to me. There are people that literally, I'm talking about everyday people that go to the bar tonight and they getting it in tonight. These are just everyday people. So now here you are, this mega celebrity. No, you don't think nobody, if you ask them, they wouldn't say yeah? It's just crazy. Yeah. But yeah, Bill Cosby. They got to find a name for Diddy because Diddy allegedly just like to give the people the substances too. Crazy. And it's all kind of theories running around that what was in that baby oil. I don't know. It's just crazy. But listen, y'all, hit the like button. I'm going to go ahead and get into this first story. We're going to get into this Garth Brooks thing. It's just. So let's get into Garth Brooks here, the country singer, and he's big time, y'all. This man is not. This is not. He's not. He's a big time country singer. So Garth Brooks sued. You awed me in a hotel room, the makeup artist claims. So Garth Brooks cornered his makeup artist in a hotel suite and awed her so violently she felt like he was going to break her body in two, at least according to the new lawsuit. The country star is being sued by a woman who claims she was his wife Trisha Yearwood's makeup artist and hairstylist for years before he hired her to work for him to do the same role. So that's him, and that is his wife there, Trisha, right? And the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, the woman claims in May 2019, Garth took her with him to Los Angeles for a Grammy tribute to Sam Moore. But when she boarded his private plane in Nashville, she noticed they were the only ones traveling, which is unusual. She claims when they got to LA, she found out Garth had only rented one hotel room for the both of them, and he denied her request for her own room. She says Garth suddenly appeared in the doorway, completely unclothed, and dragged her onto a bed in another room where he overpowered her and awed her. Okay, so Garth Brooks, this is a performance to remember. Sam Moore with Garth tonight on Grammy Salute to Music Legends at 9 p.m. PBS. So this is the show he did where she claimed that that is the day that this situation happened to her. In the doc, the woman claims Garth held her 5-foot frame by her ankles and dangled her upside down as he did stuff to her. And he violated her. I put it like that. She claims after that, it was business as usual. She did Garth's hair and makeup for the event. She says she was dealing with financial hardships and needed the work. And Garth preyed on her financial situation. The woman also claims she was at Garth's home in one day in 2019, waiting to do his makeup. When he came out of the shower, unclothed, aroused, okay, I'll use those words. She said he pointed at his private area, walked over to her, grabbed her hands, and put them on his private area, and told her he fantasized about her, performing acts on him. She claims this incident happened before the alleged R, which she says was painful and traumatic. She also says Garth would often fondle her breasts while she was doing his hair and makeup, even though she told him not to. And he would pleasure himself afterwards. The woman is going after Garth for damages. TMZ reached out to Garth's camp. No word back yet. Imagine being the wife and having to hear all this. Did the wife know that he just always kind of flirted with other people? Another article adds a little bit more, saying that he allegedly asked the makeup artist to and get involved with a threesome between him, the wife, and her. There's another article. It gets more salacious about the things that he has done. I think we heard enough of these stories and the deepness that goes into what happened to the individual. She's saying that she did suffer a lot of pain. She did go to her OBGYN following the R situation for help. So perhaps there will be medical documentation about that. She said she did not speak on it because she just, it was a financial gain for her. And, she just dealt with it. And then finally she stopped working for him. And she's saying there was some text exchanges where he would send her, inappropriate messages. And one day he took her phone and he deleted some of the messages, but she still had some messages. This is a lot. It's very deep. Tony, your thoughts?
Yes, Diva. Good evening. This presents two possibilities of how this case could go. I'm going to give you the pro briefly, just for Garth Brooks.
Okay.
You mentioned that in the news feed that you just read that the makeup artist talked about the fondling of her breast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that could go one way or the other because she continued working for him.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of all of that, this could be a consensual relationship. The argument can be made for consent.
Mm.
And then on the flip side of that, this could go against Garth Brooks. What probably will lean in the makeup artist's favor are the text messages.
Mm-hmm.
If she replied back, then she loses.
Mm.
If she did not reply back, more than likely she could win. If she didn't reply back to his messages, his explicit messages.
Mm-hmm.
Garth Brooks, according to what I just read while you were speaking, he's worth $400 million. I would have, if I were an attorney, I would advise Mr. Brooks to make this go away. Give her something. $100,000, $200,000. Offer a settlement, admit to no wrongdoing, close out the case. Because you don't want to be swept up in a long list of people now who have committed the R word against women. So it's best to take your name out of that list by going ahead to pay these women off. I'm not saying, because right now these are allegations, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But as I am pointing out, based on my experience, legal experience, this could go either way.
Yeah, I hear you, Tony, but I'm gonna roll with Too Good to Leave You Now on this. I think he made the cardinal mistake like Sean Combs did. And I think he might have let this come out, and now the floodgates are gonna be open. He had an opportunity because first this was filed as he knew who it was, but the public didn't. First, this suit was filed as Jane Doe for her and John Doe for him. So his name wasn't actually out there. He was trying to fight to keep the case known as a John Doe. So it was filed as Jane Doe, and the defendant was a John Doe. And then it came out later with his name. He was trying to fight to keep his name from not coming out. And so, on that note, I think he should have settled before
Yes.
his name was released. And I
Yes.
think now he's a day late and a dollar short. And hopefully, but usually when people have this type of behavior, it doesn't, it's not isolated to an individual, right?
Correct.
So he better hope that others don't start to come out with that whole California law that says the gender violence or whatever that law is, because he might have the floodgates might be open. Because when you do something like this is not isolated. This is messy. This is it's sounding a little Diddy-ish without the substances. Very, very messy. But again, I will say this for future people out there. When somebody, your employer, violates you once, if you keep coming back, is the violations is probably just going to get worse and worse. Katrina, your thoughts?
Daryl, he was trying to make more than the Thunder roll. It's sad that these people they have women in their life and they're still not satisfied because they got the almighty dollar. Mm-hmm. And this woman is working for you, you knowing that she needs this money, but you still violating her on every level. Yeah, you should have settled with her. You should have gave her what she wanted. And I'm not saying it's. Don't get me wrong, people. Don't come in me. Don't come with me in the chat. What I'm saying is, you did this once, and I didn't do anything, and I keep coming to work. Therefore, you feel like you can do it again. What she did should have did was when he did it the first time, she should have pressed charges on him. But by her coming back to work, he feel like, oh, okay, I can do this again. I can get away with it. I'm Garth Brooks. My wife is Trisha Yearwood. Yearwood, whatever her name is. The saying, how do I live without you? You lucky she's with you. And the thing of it is, and I'm not bashing the victim. What I'm saying is, if these people doing this to you once, and you coming back, they feel like they can do it again. You got to set boundaries. You saying this man was touching you while you was doing his makeup. You didn't say anything. So he feel like, okay, she ain't gonna say anything. Let me do this tomorrow. I mean, people have to set boundaries from the day one. I know people need jobs, people need money and whatsoever. But by these violators thinking that it's okay when they get away with it the first day, they're gonna try it again the second day. They're gonna try it again a third day if you're not doing anything. You keep coming back to work, and yes, everybody needs their job. Don't get me wrong, but they feel like they can do this, even though they can't do this. They violate you because you need your money, and they know you need your money. But by you keep coming back to work, not saying anything, not doing anything, they feel like it's okay. Set your boundaries down from day one. Say, look, this not gonna work. If this what you think that I'm finna do today, then you need to find you another makeup artist. Because I don't flow like that. And then, he'll say, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know, whatever. But the next day you come in, he still do the same thing, then it's time to find another job. It's time to say, look, I can't be violated this way. I'm not gonna let this happen to me. If this is what you feel like I am, then like I said, you need to find somebody else. And I'm out. I mean, I'll go, like people would say, work at Walmart, work at Target. I'm not gonna keep letting nobody violate me and keep getting away with it. And then I wanna come out and sue later. No, when he did the first, the second, and the third time, that's when you should have been suing. And like Dita said, it didn't come out, it came out as Jane Doe and John Doe. But these people gotta set down they tone, they gotta set down their limits, they gotta set down their statutes. You keep letting these people violate you, therefore they think they can always violate you. It's just like a kid. They keep going to the candy store and they keep getting free candy. They going every day. Well, I get free candy tomorrow because I got it today. I can get free candy the next day. And then the people tell them that they can't get candy. What they're going to try to do? They're going to try to take it. So you got to set those boundaries down from day one and let them know how you stand because they got this money and this prestige. They think that you're nothing because you're a makeup artist, but you are something. You are somebody. I don't care how much money somebody have over you. You don't never let nobody take advantage of you. You have to set your boundaries. And if they can't set those boundaries, make sure you got a camera in there recording it. Make sure you got, like she said, she got Texas or whatever. Make sure you got your stuff when you do go to the law, that everything that you're saying, you can back it up. And they won't be looking at you as a money grabber or a gold digger whatsoever, so you can get your payday. That's all I got, David.
Okay, I appreciate you. LaDon, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate you. Hide your kids. Katrina, mute yourself, please. Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband, because they are in everyone. Where's the guy? Where is this guy when you need him? Matter of fact, where is the Me Too movement? Jag is right. Crickets. This is crazy. I think that unfortunately we're gonna be hearing a lot more of these situations, and I mean it's probably gonna shock us the names that are gonna come out, and people gonna say that this person violated me. Very seedy industry. And Nate, thank you so much for the support. Thank you everyone for your support. Julius, your thoughts?
When Cat Williams said this was going to be the year of exposure, little did we know how much exposure this year was going to bring. Things were going to get exposed. Oh, they exposing. They exposing everybody in country, the church, everywhere. What, like, it just begs the question: what they trying to do? A Bill Clinton, I didn't have any relations with that woman kind of thing from the 90s? They have been exposing like crazy. And Diva, like we say, when it comes to a certain person, it's only more to come.
I appreciate you. E, your thoughts?
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pass on this one because I, I was dealing with the fire in the background, and I don't want to misspeak.
Okay, sounds good. Not a problem. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and roll into the next story. And the next story involves R. Kelly's daughter, and her name is Joanne. I often say to you here that my heart breaks because God only knows what Diddy kids saw. Now, I told you I saw earlier pictures of the white parties he was having in the Hamptons. And at the white parties, there is Kim Porter was at one holding the young twins. They were babies and they had on white, right? So it seemed like initially it was, I guess as best as he can make it be, a family fun party where kids was there, especially his kids, because at this same group of pictures, I also saw a picture with the young Christian King Combs was at the white party, had on his white, and he was leaning and kind of, talking to Diddy. So that means I always used to picture in my head, because I tried to picture that hopefully his kids wasn't a part of this debauchery and didn't see that much. I always pictured in my head that when he was having these parties in his homes, the kids was somewhere else, like, with a nanny, whoever, sleep or whatever. But as I see some of these pictures now and I see the kids in it, I'm just like, good gosh almighty. Even if your mansion is yay big, which we know Diddy has mega mansions, right? Was your kids really that far off somewhere else? And if all of these people was in your home, it's just crazy. So to think that these individuals saw so much stuff is heart-wrenching. So we move on and I say, R. Kelly's daughter, this is a similar situation that Diddy kids are going to go through, right? Just imagine now hearing all this stuff about your dad. And then maybe, and they haven't heard the worst of it yet either. They thought it was bad. That book that was out that they saying is fake, they thought that was bad. That is light stuff in comparison to what they're probably going to hear when this trial goes to, when it actually happens. And if I was Diddy, I know he wants to support, support, probably when he does go to trial. But I don't know. I think if I were him, I would tell my kids, don't come. I wouldn't want them to see it firsthand. If they got to hear it in the aftermath where the cliff notes get to the news or whatever, let them hear that. I don't know if I would want them to hear this whole trial and these people actually getting on the stands and testifying against me of what I allegedly did to them. I don't know. I have to go back to that. But right now, we'll talk about R. Kelly's daughter, because there's a documentary coming out where she's pretty much telling how she feels as a daughter and having a father who was convicted, not just accused. R. Kelly is convicted of ST, same thing that Diddy is charged with, SA, and minors involved, all kind of stuff. So you got your father is convicted of that. What do you do with that? How do you feel? Do you disown your father, just never talk to your father ever again? Are these individuals who do say crimes, are they redeemable? Are they redeemable? Or do you think that just point blank period, they're monsters and there's no redemption for them and they need to just rot in the jail that they're currently in? So let me go ahead and share screen and let's get into this R. Kelly's daughter situation. So R. Kelly's daughter speaks out in an upcoming documentary. So there's another documentary. Listen, the people that do these documentaries, they rake in the dough. That Surviving R. Kelly documentary, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever many parts they had, it sunk R. Kelly's ship. I believe, I'm not sure yet, where time will tell, that the documentary that 50 Cent is going to do on Diddy, I think it might end up sinking Diddy's ship, similar to what R. Kelly went through. So R. Kelly's daughter speaks out in an upcoming documentary. I will not take my son to a prison to meet his grandfather. So her name is Joanne. So Joanne Kelly opens up about her broken relationship with the convicted ex-offender in an upcoming documentary. So R. Kelly's daughter is speaking out about her father. In the trailer for the upcoming documentary, R. Kelly's Karma, A Daughter's Journey, Joanne Kelly shares how the convictions of her father on multiple crimes changed my whole life, as she opens up about their broken relationship. Nobody wants to be the child of a father that is out here hurting women and children, says Joanne, 26, in the trailer, released on Sunday, September 29th. He knows exactly why we can't have the relationship that we would have liked to have had with him. Kelly's daughter, who appears to be pregnant in the clip, gets emotional later on in the trailer as she reflects on how she used to see her father. Cannot play the trailer, guys, because it's going to be a copyright issue, but you can go out there and see it. He was my everything, she says of Kelly, 57, crying. For a long time, I didn't even want to believe that it happened. I didn't know that even if he was a bad person, that he would do something to me. I really felt like that 1 millisecond completely just changed my whole life, she says, referring to Kelly's conviction, adding of her future child. If my son asks questions, I'm going to be as truthful as possible, and I will not be taking my son to prison to meet his grandfather. Kelly's ex-wife and mother of Joanne and her siblings, Drea Kelly, also makes an appearance in the trailer in a tearful clip. Just because you were not a good husband doesn't mean you can't be a good father. And the fact that he didn't even try, Drea 50 says of Kelly, what he did to me, he did to me. But you didn't have to do it to my damn kids. Joanne's siblings, I think this is Ja Kelly and Robbie Kelly Jr., also speak out in the documentary in raw, emotional interviews. While the film uncovers the dark reality of living in the shadow of one of the most notorious figures in music, according to a synopsis. In February 2023, the disgraced R&B singer-songwriter was and convicted ex offender received a 20-year prison sentence on charges of child P and enticement of minors for sex, according to multiple reports at the time. Kelly was handed the sentence as he was already serving 30 years in prison for his 2021 conviction on racketeering and ST charges based out of New York, per multiple reports, meaning he will spend a total of 31 years behind bars. And Kelly, R. Kelly's in his 50s too. He'll be 80, 90. If he gets out and when he gets out, right? Or possibly can get out. The singer and father of 3 was acquitted of child P charges in 2008 after allegations had surrounded him for decades, people previously reported. After Kelly's arrest in 2019, prosecutors said in an indictment issue that he and his team, made up of his managers, bodyguards, and assistants, traveled throughout the United States and abroad to perform at concert venues and to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal activity with Kelly as far back as 1999. Does 1999 ring the bell for you? Because they go far back with Diddy, as far back or even further to the 1990s. Kelly remains held in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago. R. Kelly's Karma, A Daughter's Journey, premieres on, what's this? I don't know this network, but it appears on that network October 11th, but I will look and I'm going to watch it. And then just in case someone's out there, because I know these stories, they hit home a lot for different people. If you are someone you know has been a victim of SA, text strength to the crisis text line at 741-741 to be connected to a certified crisis counselor. And my wish is for many people that are in the industry that are being taken advantage of. With all of these stories coming out, I'm hoping they find the courage to get out if they have stayed in and they're still in some crazy situation, or at least go to the authorities, or at least text the crisis hotline so they themselves can get help. Tony, your thoughts on this story? And when I go around everybody, if you were in that situation, would you totally stop speaking to your parent? Go ahead, Tony.
Well, for me, I would need to hear from my parent some type of repentance, atonement, acknowledgement. Because if you take your lead from the Bible, we have to confess our sins before we can be forgiven.
Okay.
So you must confess your wrongdoing. And I don't think Robert Kelly has done that as of yet.
Okay.
I believe he's still in denial. And he's telling people he didn't do it. He was framed. He was this, this, that, and the other happened to him. But the evidence was overwhelming. And he would need to write a letter to his daughter and all his children, acknowledging his wrongdoing, asking for their forgiveness, showing remorse, and asking to keep the lines of communication open with his family. but he has to be the one to reach out. And while
Mhm.
he's behind bars, he needs to get therapy help. Okay. That's where he can begin to atone and heal and take responsibility for what he has done in order to get some type of rehabilitation going. Then, after all that is done, maybe he can reach out to his family. But at this point, if I were his daughter or his son, I wouldn't take my children to go see Robert behind bars until he has taken those steps. I do feel bad that the children are paying for the sins of the father.
Mm.
Emotionally, maybe not publicly, but emotionally, it's affected their mental health.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they would need to go and get some type of mental health therapy as well. And I would like for him to know his grandchildren. That's a rite of passage.
Mhm.
Um, but for now, I would decline until Robert has shown the mental health the mental health steps in order to atone before you can go forward.
Yeah. It's a lot, right? Thank you, Tony. Julius, your thoughts?
For me, now y'all know I'm a spiritual person. I go to church on Sundays, but yes, scripture does talk about forgiveness and stuff like that. Um, but I want to put it in the point of forgiveness in this way. You could forgive yourself for feeling hurt and feeling angry. But I want to make this point. Just because you may forgive that person because you want to let that anger go because it's not good for your overall health, that does not mean you can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
That does not mean they have permission to come back into your life. That does
Mhm.
not mean, especially with crimes as serious as this, that they have autonomy to come back into your life. So I wanted
Mhm.
to just throw that out there about forgiveness because I kind of knew a little bit of Drea's story. She talked about it very lightly on Hollywood Exes, but she wanted to remain upbeat, happy, and cheerful. But I really got to know her story in the documentary, the Lifetime docu series that
Mhm.
came out a couple of years ago, and that's when she really lifted the lid off of the abuse that she went through. And it's quite unfortunate because she said in this quick article grab, "Do it to me, fine.
Mhm.
But why did you hurt my kids?" That for me is a line that you cross that there's no coming back from. And these kids, even though they all may be grown now, they are his victims as well. And they have every right to say, "We are done with you. You
Mhm.
put us through too much. You put our mother, especially our mother, through too much." And she was the one to be here through all of our attitudes, raising us, fighting with us. But she was there. She was loving us. She was guiding us. So reconciliation for him is out the window, and I completely understand, especially with his oldest daughter becoming a parent. She's saying no. I'm breaking the cycle, and it starts with me. Unfortunately, it now falls on her shoulders for her own child. Hit the like button, y'all.
Thank you, Julius. Katrina, did I come to you?
No, ma'am.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
Julius, I hear what you're saying, but when Drea got with R. Kelly, she knew what type of man R. Kelly was because he was already with Aaliyah.
Mm.
So then you had kids by this man, the same man that you had to peep out the door and ask, "Can you go to the bathroom?" So yes, I feel sorry for the kids, not only from R. Kelly, but by the mama as well, because you knew exactly what you was getting into when you had these kids. So I am a mom, and I do anything and everything to try to protect my children to not go through the same things or go do the hardship stuff that I went through. You knew exactly who R. Kelly was, and maybe you seen something in him or whatsoever, but it's not like everybody. Just same thing with P Diddy. Everybody know P Diddy passed. Everybody know who P Diddy was. These women got with P Diddy anyway, and I'm not saying it's not the kids' fault at no means, but these women knew exactly what these men were when they got with them. She knew exactly who R. Kelly was when she got with him. She knew R. Kelly was a pedophile when she got with him. Because if you were with Aaliyah when she's 14 and 15, you had married her and you were 20 something, and then she was allegedly pregnant. The reason why you had to go to marry her and she had to have the A. So you knew exactly who this man was. And I'm not saying I feel sorry for the kids. I really do. But the parents already knew what type of men they was getting involved with when they got with these men. And Drea, like I said, Julie, you know I love you. You have to ask a man, can you go to the bathroom? You have to peep out the door to ask a man, can you go to the bathroom? And you had kids with this man. So if this man this messed up in the head, how you think your kids gonna deal with this? Because it's hereditary. And I pray your kids be on the right path. I pray everybody's child be on the right path. But these women know who they laying down with before they lay down with them. And if you think that stuff is not gonna come back, that karma is not gonna come back, it's coming back. Whether people want to see it or not, it's a boomerang effect. And like I said, she's out there, she's a dancer, she's a good dancer whatsoever. But these women know who these men are when they get involved with them. And it's sad because it's not like Diva, it's not like we don't know who these people are. We've been hearing these stories all the time. You know what type of people these men are. You marry these men, you have kids by these men, and then the kids suffer from from what you do. And it's a sad situation. Yes, I seen Drea on Beverly Hollywood Live Wives, whatever that thing was, with her and Prince's wife, ex-wife, whatever. But what I'm just saying is, you got to know who you laying down with because you have kids by these people, and you think these kids is not supposed to get the backlash of what these men have already done. You know the backlash of R. Kelly. So why would you even want to have a child with this man knowing that this stuff is going to come back up and it's going to be in your child's life? Why would you even want to put that stigma on your child? It's sad, it's ridiculous, it's pathetic. And that's all I got. Like I said, they lay down with these men. They know exactly who these men are, but the kids have to have to suffer for what their parents does, and that's a sad situation. A child should never have to suffer what their parents done. A child should never have to go through that. And they do this, and the consequences always fall on the kids. They have to go to school. They have to stigma your dad this, your dad that, your mom this, your mom that. It falls on the kids. So you just have to be careful on who you laying down and having kids with. That's all I got to do.
Thank you. Europe.
Yes, I have a lot to say. So, I didn't see this thing, but I will say this. Folks cannot shield children from the sins of their father. It's impossible. And it drives me crazy when people attempt to pour this obsolete and toxic way of thinking over kids when they say, oh, that's still your father. No, it's not. She just showed you. It's not your father. It's an abuser. It's a predator, a liar, and a cheater. It's a criminal. And she has every right to say, I no longer want to be in relationship with you, and you will not have anything to do with your grandchildren. Matter of fact, it's not even your grandchildren. These are not your grandchildren. I was overjoyed when it was said that who wants to have a father who has abused women all of their life. You're not my father. I think that this young lady, she's speaking too real and too right. And hopefully Sean Combs' daughters will get the memo and change their damn last name. It's never worth it walking through life earning the enemies and bad karma of your father if you don't have to. We have to stop being ridiculous. I also find it honorable that she has enough gumption and strength to not only come out and say that her father is wrong and he is a piss poor character, but to do it on camera and immortalize it, this girl is brave. And I love that she is strong enough to say, even though he is her father, he is a terrible human being, because there's too many grown men, influential men, loud men still praising R. Kelly to this day, saying he is the king of R&B. And they're just trying to take a black man down. It was earlier this week. I saw Jermaine Dupri on the Shade Room talking about R. Kelly is still the king of R&B. Get out of here. Get out of here. And when I hear this nonsense, they're trying to take a black man down, it's an insult. It makes it sound as if the victims, the hundreds of girls who have come forth and told their story, they try to make it seem like those girls do not exist. And that's not right. Because oftentimes, and I've been the one to say it when these stories come forth, why are these girls just now coming out now and saying something? Well, we had the girls, they already came out and said it. So why are we discrediting them still? Why are we still uplifting this man? And 10 more seconds, I want to go back to what Katrina said. Andrea knew who Robert was when she met him and she was looking for a come up. R. Kelly, all he was singing about was sex. Everything in his earlier albums, Bump and Grind, AJ Nothing But a Number, he was who he was. And when you look at Andrea right now and what she puts on the internet, she's selling sex. So they were a match made in heaven. Look at how she's gyrating all over and how she wanted to do the show about the cabaret. She hasn't transitioned in her life. She's still the same. Look at how she dresses. She's marching around with some man that was on Love and Hip Hop who's known for 2 times. She hasn't learned her lesson. She's still pursuing the same type of men, still getting involved with the same type of behavior. And listen, before you know it, her children would disown her as well, and her and R. Kelly will both end up with no legacy, no grandchildren, and they will be left with their own bones to bear.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you, E. I appreciate you. If
it don't get about 12 play.
It's a rough situation. Wayne, your thoughts? Are you there, Wayne?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I'm like and Julius. No, I'll forgive him, love him from a distance, but I'm not going out my way. If I live on one part of the side of the country and you live on the other, I'm not buying tickets to come see you. If you want to use your commissary to call, fine. I'll forgive them, all that, but they don't really have to be, for that, yeah. I'm not inconveniencing myself because of what you've done. That may sound kind of harsh, but I'm not. Like I said, if you want to call, if you want to speak to, the grandchild stuff, but what, why your son's probably going to find out, but why would I want to take my child to see somebody that's done these horrible crimes? Why put that burden on the child?
Right.
With the same last name. Oh, you are Kelly's grandson. Oh, you are Kelly's, Why put him through that? That man's going to be in there pretty much till he passes. So, if his daughter gets married or something like that, and assumed a grandfather that way, but no, I don't think you should put him in, under that kind of pressure. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So, do you think that these individuals should change their last name? I mean, because
I would.
But one of the sons is named after R. Kelly. It's R. Kelly Jr.
Change it.
Change it. My sister had a set of twins,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the father's name, last name and everything. I think when they turned 1, she changed their name to our family name and other names altogether. Why? I don't know, but I know it was a reason.
Stop making kids juniors. I mean, I'm sick of it.
Yikes. Okay. All right. We will move on. I did put the poll out there. Should the kids change their last name from Kelly? And I'm wondering, the Combs kids, what are they going to do? This is sad. This is a lot. We're going to move on into the last story. So my last story is there is the guy is 30 now. His name is Justin. He's 30 now, and he's talking about how when he was 6, he was at a Diddy party and what he saw. Well, I'm sorry, sir. This story should have been reversed, and you should be telling us how you told your parents you shouldn't have been there. Okay? So Drea Kelly refuses to change her last name. She feels like she earned it. But yet, every time you put a mic, I'm sorry, I'm backtracking to this story we just finished, but every time you put a mic in her face, she don't mind being called Drea Kelly. She, of all people, could have definitely went back to her maiden name. You hate this man so much. He did something so bad. Go back to your maiden name. So major changes. The kids, what was their moms? What Ken Porter? They can go to Porter. Christian Combs and the twins can go to Porter, but all the kids can actually take on their mother's last name. It's true we still know who they are, but maybe eventually people won't catch on immediately if you change your last name. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do in this situation. All I could say is that I truly feel bad for the children in any of these situations, including Garth Brooks' kids. Your dad is now being accused of something very heinous. Okay, so we're going to roll into this last story. Okay. So a 6-year-old guest at Sean Diddy Combs' white party recounts open substances and unclothed women everywhere, right? So he certainly had a July 4th weekend to tell his school pals about. Sean Diddy Combs' white parties in the Hamptons were not known for being family friendly. So they're claiming it was not known for being family friendly. So what kind of fool would bring their children to it when it was known allegedly in the industry that they were not family friendly parties, which Justin, now 30, rapidly found out when he was just 6 years old with well-connected parents. I fault his parents in this situation 100%. They unknowingly attended Diddy's July 3rd, 1999 party, 1999 afternoon barbecue, only to find it loaded with, people literally partying like it was 1999. Look at Diddy and the young Jay-Z at this time. And listen, Jay-Z was out of dress code. His shirt was in all white. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. I remember a lot of Mary Jane and a bunch of topless women in the pool and around the pool. How did a 6-year-old Justin know that he was looking at weed? I cannot with this story. I actually wanted to get in the pool. Anytime we went anywhere with a pool, I wanted to swim. At the time, Justin admitted, I didn't know what the heck was going on. He didn't know what he was seeing was good, bad, or indifferent, but he hoped to jump in the pool, right? Even though there were naked women there. So that is Justin when he was 6, and that's Diddy. But I know how this picture happened. This picture happened because his parents knew who Diddy was and was like, hey, Diddy. And they was working as a photographer that day, his parents. They was like, Diddy, can you take a picture with my kid? And Diddy did. And the kid was awkward because he's like, who this man? Okay. That's Diddy and Little Kim. Little Kim was such a doll face before all of the surgery. It's just a mess. That's Diddy and Donna Karen. Diddy really, his sinister ways, he messed up a good thing because he was very well connected. Okay. And those are people that were working the party. So the mother of young Justin, her name is Maya, did not have much to mull over. I did not give my son the opportunity to get in there. She's talking about the pool. And now Maya is an influencer. She told the Post this. There were bottles everywhere and naked women. I wasn't sure if this was appropriate or normal. I wondered about how kids were allowed into a party to begin with. No, sis, I'm wondering how you stayed there with your child who was 6, seeing this. You and your husband. Guests included Jay-Z, Little Kim, Donna Karen, Tyson Beckford with a very with a not very childlike appropriate t-shirt that blasted F. Giuliani, then New York's law and order favoring mayor. Okay, so there are some of the women in the pool unclothed doing some wild stuff, and she kept her 6-year-old at this party. Diddy will go on to set a curfew at future parties. If child welfare comes here in 30 minutes, that's on y'all, he joked from his Hamptons balcony in 2007. My kids are downstairs. 15 minutes, the kids have to go. But in 1999, Justin remembers being the sole grammar schooler. And that's because your parents were stupid. I don't remember seeing one other kid, he said. I'm normally the type to want to go and play with other kids, okay? That was Jay-Z, Rockaware. That's Tyson Bedford. If a minor in attendance was a problem for Diddy, guests would never know it. Justin and Maya were there with the photographer David Allen, father to Justin and husband to Maya. Allen remembered buzzing around the hold down, snagging pictures of celebrities, as was his job. As evidenced by the pictures obtained by the Post, Diddy, sunglass and snarly looking, was happy to pose for a picture with Justin. This is artist work of Diddy when he was waiting to see if he was going to get bail. Side by side with him is his lawyers. Justin, who said his father got him in pitch with a lot of celebs, including Magic Johnson, Patti LaBelle, and Keith Richards, found the Diddy experience a bit of a mixed bag. So he remembered from 6 years old and saying that his Diddy experience was a mixed bag. I can't with this, Justin. He's messy. Okay. He said, I don't look like I have a normal smile in the pic. Well, you wouldn't, because it's a perfect stranger. He said perhaps disturbed by some of the adult going-ons around him. Diddy was arrested, which we know from federal agents last month. Listen, back in 1999, Justin and his parents handled the elite bash by moving around from pot smoke, bottles of booze, and sun worshiping people with no tops on. Okay, they didn't think much of it back then. Recently, though, with the outrageous sex-oriented charges levied against Diddy, they can't help but wonder what they got themselves into. We didn't see people having relations, but we left at 9:30 p.m., said Maya. The party continued and nobody was getting out of the pool, so who knows what happened. So, of course, they left at 9:30. It's a darn lie, but we'll continue on. That's his story, and they're sticking to it. Tony, your thoughts?
Well, Diva, this is just another example of piss pot parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand they're photographers and they need to get money. This is how they make their money, and they were getting a nice little bag.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you have exposed your child not to any essays, but to just adult nudity in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's not healthy for a 6-year-old or any child for that matter, at any age, including teenagers. This is not good, but while I appreciate Justin sharing his story, because he did not allege any inappropriate mishandling.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me he's angling for something,
Mm-hmm.
or was trying to angle for something, because you get all these unnecessary people crawling out of the woodworks, muddying the waters. And I hope it just ends there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to hear from Justin no more. I mean, we just need to let it go and move on. But if he resurfaces again, alleging something else, then we know he's angling for a payday. I won't believe anything he has to say because you should have said it the first time.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Julius, you're up. Julius, are you there? All right, Katrina, you're up.
Okay, now which Justin is this diva?
This is not Justin Bieber, so don't go wild with your.
I'll just mess
It's
with
just
you.
it's just a kid named Justin, and he said he was 6 when it happened. He's 30 now.
Okay, you 6 when it happened, and your mom or your guardian had you at this party,
Mm-hmm.
and you know exactly what the smoke is. So obviously you're not an amateur to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that gets me is I've seen a clip of Diddy with this white man face down on the cushion, passed out, and he's laughing, saying this would happen when you come to a Diddy party.
Mm-hmm.
He actually put it on YouTube, whatever. Somebody got the clip of him. And like you said, Diva, why do y'all keep coming to these parties knowing this is exactly what this man is?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not participating, you going to these parties because you are participating. And now, since it all and hit the fan, you don't hear nobody. Jay-Z, Beyonce, I love you, E. Beyonce, um, Faith Evans, Mary J. Blige, all the big names. You ain't hear nobody. When this stuff happened with Bill Cosby, at least Felicia Rashad came out and tried to defend him. When this stuff
Mm-hmm.
happened with Diddy, you ain't hear nobody come out to defend Diddy. I haven't. Maybe they be on YouTube somebody, he's a setup and all that.
But Stevie J went dark now too. Mm-hmm.
Girl, Stevie J went to an island somewhere. He probably on Diddy Island. They did it on they flew the coop. But other than that, nobody came out to defend this man. So what is that telling you? They're not coming out to defend them because they was at these parties as well. And like I said last night, Diva, they feel like if they come out and say something, they gonna be labeled as an accessory because you see what went down. This idiot actually showed us this man was face down on this cushion. I'm surprised the man didn't suffocate. His face was face down. He said this was happen when you come to a Diddy party. And I'm not racist, but it was all white people sitting on that couch. I don't know if y'all seen it on YouTube or not, but I've seen it. I'm quite sure if you go Google it, you'll find it. This man was face down saying this would happen when you come to a Diddy party. I'm surprised the man didn't suffocate because his face was face down on this cushion. And like I said, why in the world would you even have your child at a grown up party anyway? I can see if you having your child at a grown up party if it's your birthday or your family member's birthday or something like that. That's a whole different scenario. But to have your child at a birthday party of a celebrity and all that type of stuff, knowing what's going on, why would you even do that? And here you come back now, 30 years later, saying you was at one of Diddy parties and all this and all that. Like you said, Diva, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Some of it's true. We know how did it get down. But you got the people out there in the winds that's going to say something so they can be added to the story so it can go down that this person said this, that, this person said that. So you have to pick your battles very, very wisely because I can say I was at a Diddy party. How can they prove me not? You can say you was at a Diddy party. You live in New York. How could they prove you not? The thing of it is, when you got felonious lawsuits coming out, the main one's gonna get messed up because the people are looking at the ones that not even legit. And I'm not saying he gonna get away. He's not gonna get away. But I'm just saying they're making the ones that's legit look like they're not even legit. because you're dealing with the felonious ones, the ones that don't even mean anything. And that's the sad part about it. That's the sad thing about it. You got real victims there. I'm not saying these people weren't no victim as well. But when you keep going back, and you a SW worker, that's your job. You doing what you getting paid for. So when you saying this man did this to you, but you is a SW worker, you label yourself as that. So this is what you getting paid for. But when you got the real victims that not knowing what's going on with them, not knowing what's happening with them, not knowing that they's getting substance in their bodies that they didn't even ask for, those are the victims. But then you run your tail back to these parties time and time and time again. You make it hard for anybody to believe you because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And like I said, what parent would take their child to a party like that anyway? You got to look at that parent on that part. And now this child coming out saying they know what this is, know what that is. It's so hard. It's this thing, like you said, we just scratching it. But it's gonna go deep and deep and deep. Because this man, we saying Puffy, but it's a lot of names that came to that house. It's a lot of celebrities that came to this house and did this stuff with this man, knowing what type of man this is. And not one said anything to protect the child or a person they know was inebriated or a person they know couldn't do anything for themselves because they knew that he was putting stuff in their alcohol. They knew this. And then you on YouTube talking about, we know he put these in his bottles and all this type of stuff, but you allowed it to happen to these people, to these women. And now you on YouTube talking about what you seen and what you saw, but you didn't say nothing. This stuff could have been prevented a long time ago because you don't know if these people um had overdoses. You don't know what these people became addicted. You don't know what happened to these people. You don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, you sit up there watching it, and now you coming back saying we saw this and you knew what was happening. This is a sad situation, and it goes deeper and deeper than what we talking about on YouTube. It's sad that these people went through this trying to get into the industry, trying to do this and try to, and then it's just a sad situation, and I hope it comes to an end because he's gonna flip. Like I said, his dad was a snitch. He gonna be a snitch. He gonna flip. He's gonna tell some names, and it's still not gonna help him because you still gonna serve time, regardless if it wasn't for the pow pows with the numbers marked, the serial number marked off, and you know he loved to keep dolls. He loved to keep material things. I wonder was those pow pows was the pow pows that got rid of Tupac and
Okay,
Biggie.
come on. Okay, let me move on.
I'm just saying. But
Go
that's
ahead.
all I got, Diva.
Thank you. E, your thoughts?
You know, the first quote that stuck out to me is when you said, I believe this was the mom, I'm wondering if this was inappropriate or normal. And yeah, she was wondering that because celebrity can be blinding. It's attractive, and people will sacrifice their moral fiber just to stand next to it. People sell their kids every day. Usher's mom sold him. B2K's mom, B2K's parents sold them. Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan. I mean, sometimes selling your kids is not always for financial gain. People sell themselves short every single day for Instagram likes and YouTube clicks. So when I say people sell their kids, it's not always a checkbook involved. And, I think of just due to the content and the nature of what we're discussing, I think of the movie Precious. Mary sold Precious to her father every night. And when Precious ended up pregnant by the father, Mary turned around later. And I know it's based on a true story, but she turned around later and blamed Precious for making the dad go away. And then started, what did she say? She started essaying Precious under the guise of, well, who else was going to love me since you got your degree and you know everything? So now here we are in 2024, and over 100 victims have come forward as it relates to Sean. And when you sit down and really map this thing out, it's getting so outlandish with the accusations. It's almost becoming unbelievable. And that could be strategic in a way, or maybe they really are using this as a ploy for something different. And bad parenting aside, Sean is the one with the purse. Sean is the one with the bag. So even if Sean was not doing anything inappropriate with these children around at these adult parties or these adult theme parties, the point is, why would you even have children like this at a party? You and your staff, there was no one around mature enough or who had enough gumption to protect you legally, or were you just that arrogant to where you thought this would never catch back up to you when you had the most to lose? Sorry, I was drinking something at the same time. He has the most to lose. He's the mogul. He's the bank. He's the one plastered all over hip hop. He's the most well known as the little engine that could. He achieved the dream, and now the dream is being taken away. My only wish is that people thought of children as they thought of these celebrities. And perhaps these children would get the care and honor that God intended parents to nurture them with when we see them as valuable. When you see your children as valuable as you do as getting into a Diddy party, then maybe they will get the education and be able to go off and have bigger dreams than just being discovered by a Diddy. That is the height of what you want your children to dream about. You are setting them up for failure. And like I said in the last segment, we will never be able to escape the sins of our fathers and mothers.
Whew, child. Thank you, E. Julius, your thoughts?
Justin Bieber's case.
This is not about Justin Bieber.
It's about what pertaining to Diddy, right?
No. This is about a kid. It is pertaining to Diddy, but this is about a kid who said he was at a Diddy party when he was 6.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where is his parents?
They was right there at the party with him.
I'm trying to remain diplomatic here, but these words vomits is coming. And that was an appropriate party to have for a 6-year-old. To have a 6-year-old at. What was you setting your child up for? Yeah, no, that doesn't sit right with me. And I have nothing further to add because it's not nice, and I'm not. And like the saying goes, if I have nothing nice to say, I'm not gonna say it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Julius. So on that note, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Tonight's story, Bad Boys. You got Garth Brooks being accused of, I'll say it lightly, taking advantage of someone. You got R. Kelly's daughter who says her child will never meet the grandfather, which is R. Kelly. And then you got this Justin is one of many of these Diddy stories that are going to start to come out, and it's going to muddy the water, and it's going to it's going to kind of desensitize people because people are going to start to believe, okay, who else is just going to come out and tell this a crazy, maybe fictitious story about Diddy? And trust me and believe, I'm not telling you all that I'm not are fictitious, because where there's smoke, there's fire. And we're going to see how this thing plays out in court. I thank y'all for being here. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for Trending Topics.